Hello guys and welcome to volokinproject. In today's episode of phone throwbacks we have a very special Nokia from 2004, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Nokia 6820. Now that's a third generation Nokia QWERTY device with a flip keyboard like that. The first two generations were not very popular simply because they were way bigger phones, a little bit bulky and not a very high quality. However, this phone changed the game for Nokia about the QWERTY keyboards. Of course, they had the Nokia communicator a couple of years prior. However, in 2004, if you wanted this type of pocket-sized device, you didn't have many options. You can go for a BlackBerry as well, but that was a completely different game. Now you see, back in the day, Nokia was a fashion statement. They were all expensive phones, especially if you used to live in Eastern Europe like me. You definitely had to sell one or two of your kidneys to be able to afford one of these phones, and usually people were getting them a couple of years later when they were old. Now the main phone, this is the Nokia Series 40 device, by the way, and with this I would say size and shape, Nokia made quite a few phones back in the day. The most successful of them all was the Nokia 7250, as you can see on the left hand side over here. So that phone essentially is an upgrade of the Nokia 7250 in a few areas, but in some other areas is absolutely the same. So what exactly is absolutely the same? The size, which is strange considering that they managed to put a secondary keyboard on top of the the QWERTY keyboard, as well as the screen is absolutely the same, 128 by 128 pixels, which is absolutely ridiculous, guys, and it's 1.6 inch. I'm not sure if you can tell by the camera, but it is a very low quality screen, guys. Very low quality screen. It is not good at all, and even back in the day it wasn't very good. As you can see, it supports only 4000 colors, and it looks like almost it's like supporting like 4 colors. I mean, you can see that there is no red anywhere. Of course, I'm running the blue theme, but overall terrible screen even for the time. But nevertheless, let's have a look at the inside the phone first, and I'll tell you what else is changed. By the way, one thing about the camera over here is running a CIF camera, as I call it. It's a CIF 358 by 400 something resolution. I took one photo of of this phone, and this is the this is the result when sent to a normal phone via Bluetooth. That was very important as well. And let me check the actual resolution of this photo if I can get into the information. Yeah, so have a look at the information, guys. We are looking at about 352 by 288, the CIF resolution of the camera. Absolutely unusable. Back in the day, not many phones had this type of cameras at all. So what's interesting over here is you can have a look over here, 682A. I really have no idea what A stands for, but this Nokia is so old, 20 years old now, that it was made in Finland back in the day, and the build quality is exceptional. Now the SIM slot is, well, it's a normal SIM slot, but the SIM tray is a little bit unusual for Nokia. They haven't used it in many other devices. Usually doesn't look like that, but nevertheless. And what's kind of interesting, that the battery is built into the back cover. I really have no idea why they did that, where actually this is a removable battery, the legendary BL5C battery that used to power 80% of their phones back in the day. At the bottom of the phone we have autofocus issues. We have the charging port over here, the standard Nokia charger, as well as the headphone, well, not jack, but that was the headphone adapter from back in the day / accessory adapter. We have a microphone over here. On top of the phone we have a hose for the lanyard, and what else? We have 3 soft buttons over here along with the power button. Again, this is a kind of a quick release for the back panel. Back in the day, Nokia used to make phones that you can easily change the the fascia of the phone. They were called express on covers. This phone doesn't support that. It's a little bit more complicated to get this one sorted, but nevertheless. Now, What made this phone interesting was that they've improved the internal memory to, check this out, 3.5 megabytes, which was definitely not enough, but it was an improvement over the 7250, and also it introduced Bluetooth. Have a look at that, guys. Let's see. Oh, SIM registration failed. Of course, it's gonna fail. Check this out, connectivity. Now, GPRS, it was slow as hell. It was really painful to do anything back in the day. You could, but it was a real pain to set up the network operator, the data connection settings. The infrared you could use only to transfer contacts, and voila, Bluetooth finally had Bluetooth, so you can easily transfer photos. As you see, I've transferred these photos to my phone. Which was a great improvement back in the day. Also, the camera supported video as well, and night mode. Can you imagine, guys? Sony Xperia, the newest phones, don't have night mode, but this one does. So yeah, Nokia was ahead of the game 20 years ago. By the way, a very quick tip how to check the total conversation time of the phone is you have to type warranty of the keyboard, which translates to 927. Let me see. 02 689, and there you go. You get the warranty information, the IME number, made in 4th of 2004, purchase date, repair date usually is blank, and lifetime of 66 hours, which is pretty much nothing for this device, guys. Of course, the usual signs of usage over here on top of the device, a little bit of a scratching over here, nothing extraordinary, but generally check this out. The frame is in excellent condition, guys, and overall, let's pop this baby up and have a look at that keyboard once and for all. So check this out. You have a dedicated backlight button over here, which is very funky, and overall, as soon as you start pressing the buttons over here, the phone starts to compose a message. And to be honest with you, let me see what I can do. The back button is over here. You have a space bar over here, you have a space bar over here, so you can use that. I'm definitely not very quick because I'm looking through the phone screen rather than to the camera screen rather than the phone screen. But yeah, that's the keyboard is kind of actually okay to use. I would say is very light. The feeling of the button is very nice, and there are no issues with the hinge itself. This is a 3rd generation phone, as I mentioned earlier, and it's pretty well made. The previous generation, the 6800, had issues with the buttons. They were making contacts with the phone over here, and it was an absolute nightmare to repair and to use this phone. But this one was definitely a step ahead in the right direction. I'm not sure how popular this phone was. I don't remember seeing any of my friends having it back in the day. They were all having the 7250 or the 5210 before that. These were the fashionable series. This one not very popular in Europe, but I guess they were targeting the US market with the QWERTY keyboard over here. But I'm glad Nokia made this phone. It was again one of the many Nokia products that they came out back in the day. But to be honest with you, 20 years later, batteries are still supported. The phone still works. They're shutting down networks in Europe now, the 2G and 3G networks. So it's not going to work with any carrier, but overall 20 years later, come on guys, I mean, check this out. The phone is in mint condition, still very durable. And one last thing about the pricing of this phone, how expensive is this phone currently? Well, the best units you can find on eBay are between 40 and 50 quid, and the beat up unit starts from just 10 quid. I'm really not sure why exactly would you need this phone. Unless you have some sort of a collection as me, but it's cheap enough to get. The batteries are here, the chargers are here, spare parts are available. With other broken phones you can easily replace the screen. It's compatible with a bunch of other Nokia screens. The microphones, the speakers are absolutely the same within like 20 other models, so that's not an issue really. And although I don't have any personal experience with this phone, I never really owned this phone or used it Back in the day, I can definitely see the appeal, and considering how light and how nice it is in the hand, and the build quality and the looks are amazing, then I'll definitely say that that was something that I would have been interested back in the day. Especially, come on guys, that would have been the party trick. Boom, you turn the light on, there you go, you're the man with the text messages, especially considering how expensive the conversations were back in the day. To send a quick message, it is easier than the other phones from back in the day. So yeah, that's pretty much it, the Nokia 6822. Thank you very much for watching, and subscribe to Vlogging Project for more videos like that. Thanks again for watching again. See ya later.